Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Grand Rapids Town Board meeting, December 10th, 2019. Before we start the actual meeting, we need to hold a public hearing. Public hearing will be conducted for the following application. Lucas Eichinger, application for the comprehensive map change to rezone from agricultural to R2 residential, lot number 1, a newly created 1.25 acre parcel located at 3310 48th Street North, parcel number 070030. Current zoning does not allow for lots under 5 acres to stay zoned agricultural. That's the reason for the hearing. Anybody in the audience wishing to speak against the comprehensive plan change and the rezone? Go ahead, state. Anybody wishing to speak against it? Second time, anybody wishing to speak against the comprehensive map change and the rezone? Third and final time, anybody wishing to speak against? Hearing none, we'll move to those in favor of the application. Anybody wish to speak in favor of? Obviously, I bet you are.
Yep.
Anybody else wishing to speak in favor of?
Well, I do too.
Name for the records then, please.
Jay Parmenter.
Sarah Parmenter.
Anybody else in the audience wishing to speak in favor of? Hearing none, I'll call the public hearing closed then. We'll move to the regular agenda items. Once I get organized here, because now it got unorganized somehow. There it is. Oh, they all know what I'm going to say. Join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item 2, approve agenda for the meeting. Hearing no changes. Item 3, approve the minutes from November 12th, 2019 Town Board meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the November 12th.
Motion Andrew,
I'll second.
second Dan. Any discussion?
Yes, I have
Corrections?
a couple of things. They're not corrections. But on number 8, on the second page, there was consideration for the Mike Edwards property. Was there anything done about that? Was he given notice of that?
Yes, he was.
Yes, I sent him his options the next morning. I haven't heard back, so.
Okay, and then on item number 10, I think we'll be talking about this. Oh, the walking path. So I did vote against the motion the last time. But did it get corrected with the grant application?
Of course.
Okay. And then on monthly reports, since they're non-action items such as public comment, there was a comment made about when I said about the recycling and solid waste. There was a comment made that maybe we have outgrown our location for having the Choose to Reuse program. I don't think that's so. But the comment was made that maybe we should have the police department look into it because of the traffic jam that was there. And I'd just like to say it's like having an auction, you know, there's a big crowd. I wouldn't want the Choose to Reuse to go down because we had a lot of people at it.
Okay. Any other comments on the minutes? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? No opposed? Motion carries. Item 4, public comment period. People wishing to address the board limited to 2 minutes each. Public comment period this evening not to exceed 30 minutes in length. Anybody in the audience wish to speak? Go ahead for the name for the records, please.
Want to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'd like to speak on, the road conditions on that Wednesday before Thanksgiving, when we had all that heavy, slushy, wet snow. And, why this has to occur every year, usually maybe it's more in the spring when we have the heavy snows. Why can't that be plowed off instead of having those vehicles, those snow plows go down the road and maybe drop some salt on top of the snow? I mean, the ruts, it was gonna be, the temperatures were dropping that night, and the roads were all rutted up. And, the taxpayers are paying for this equipment to run over the road to do nothing, and, the fuel and the salt, and, and then we have to endure the ruts. So, I just think the board needs to address this. It's not, it happens once or twice every year. So, I think the board needs to take some, action on this situation and come up, if they have to come up with a policy, discuss it, or whatever. I mean, this shouldn't be happening over and over and over.
Okay, end of your comment? Is that the end?
Mina?
Go ahead then.
That's the end of my.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure you didn't have anything else. Go ahead, Mr. Bauer.
Bill Bauer. Just wanted, again, with the street light at the corner of 40th and South, we did add a couple signatures to the petition. Those were turned into Lisa earlier this week. One of the new houses on 40th Street that was just built in the Bowen new subdivision there, $300,000 house. Light wasn't there when they bought the lot. Light wasn't there when they built the house. Come home one night, living room's lit up like a Christmas tree. It's in their front yard, right there.
Okay, anybody else wishing to speak?
Paul Lang. I'm also here about the street light. I have the corner lot right there on 40th and South. And been there since June of '87, and over 20-some kids have walked up that road, use that corner to get on a bus. It's never been an issue. If it was, we would have asked for a light a long time ago. So I just don't understand how that could get put in there by one person requesting it that doesn't even live there. And the kids don't even use that corner to get on the bus, so.
More on my end too. The light pollution.
I'm sorry, Bill,
Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
You've had your comment, I'm sorry. Is there
Okay.
anything else to your comment? If not, I need to ask if there's anybody else. Just a point of order.
I'll speak.
Just one thing, you remember I called you on the phone and asked you about that, how that happened? You said it was brought up as a safety issue?
Yes.
And I asked you why the people whose yards were getting lit up weren't contacted about this, and you said it wasn't done that way?
The way the ordinance reads, I shouldn't be in the conversation with you. We can talk when we get to that item on the agenda, if you don't mind. Anybody else wishing to speak?
Jeff Buser. I just have one thing to add. Now that it's winter and we have ground snow, the light pollution is even worse than it was before. And I just want to say that, like everyone else is saying, I've been there for 20 years myself, never known any type of accident on that corner, so I don't know why that light's there. And we have enough people supporting us that we want it gone.
Good. Anybody else wishing to speak? Hearing none, we'll move on to item number 5. We'll offer the first speaking to Officer Drinkline, who has some other obligations. If you wish to start, we'll put you, and then we'll make the fire chief wait for you.
Thanks, Chief. Hello, everyone. Everybody's got a copy of Chief Peterson's letter on the monthly meeting and a copy of the activity report. In November of 2019, we handled 434 calls for service compared to 390 calls for service last year. That's 11.2% increase in calls. Breaks down basically to 62 traffic citations, 6 municipal ordinance citations, and 52 warnings. November 5th, Mel participated in the Code Red drill at the Grant Elementary School. It's basically the Code Red is if there's an active shooter there, how are we going to handle it, how are we going to get in, and so on and so forth. It was also participated by the staff and the students of the school, so it was a great training from what Mel had told me about it. November 15th, Mel, along with the 2 resource officers from the Department of Wisconsin Rapids Police Department, did a de-escalation training with the staff at Mid-State College to how to handle not only students or staff or parents that are getting upset with whatever is going on at the school, and how to de-escalate that, and when the appropriate time is to call law enforcement in to de-escalate it even more if they can't get it down there. Lastly, squads are doing well, minor repairs. We picked up our new 2020 Ford Pursuit SUV from Madison. I know Mel has been getting bids from Low Voltage to outfit it, along with, I can't think of the name of the gentleman down in Portage. What is it?
Belco.
Belco. And as of before he went on vacation, I don't know which one he chose to do it. I'm thinking he was leaning towards Belco, to be honest with you, but I don't know that for 100%. And as always, feel free to stop in the PD if you guys need any questions answered or talk with one of us. The door is always open. Any questions from the town board?
Any questions? Hearing none, thank you very much. He's been asked to be excused, and you are.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Go to Fire Chief Robert Pyatt.
Evening, board and residents. Our report for the last month. We're currently staffed with 46 fire and EMS members, 4 are non-structural, 6 are EMS only, but we have a total of 20 members trained in EMS. We're always looking for good people. If so, stop by the station or give me a call. Calls for the last month, we had 21 calls for EMS. We had 7 for fire. Fire calls consisted of 4 in Grand Rapids, 2 in Saratoga, none in Grant this month, and 1 mutual aid. Breakdown was 1 gas leak, 1 carbon monoxide, 1 false alarm, 2 lift assists, 1 structure fire, and then 1 structure fire mutual aid call in the town of Rome. So this last month in training, I guess 1 additional stat that I don't have on the report in front of you. Overall, call-wise this year, on the EMS side of the house, last year we had 272 calls. We're already up to 305. That's an 11% increase overall year to date. Fire last year, we had 102 calls for service. We're at 117 right now. So we're up 13% on the fire side year to date. Training information this last month, our EMS people who are at the EMR level are still in their refresher. And in the morning, we tore apart another car over at the town garage, courtesy of Neiman Service. And in the evening, we had a joint training with LifeLink 3, with Beer and Fire, Wood County Rescue, United Ambulance, and LifeLink 3. So last month, we held a monthly department meeting, department officer meeting, 2 training meetings, and an EMS meeting. Our smoke detector is still going strong. Program is still going strong, and then I also put in your packets, I'll quick read it so the residents can hear it as well. You guys asked for a breakdown on our sign program over the years. So Grand Rapids board members, per your request, here's a breakdown on our residential address sign program. The program started in the fall of 2013 under the direction of Chief Donald Bowen. Since they are not mandatory in our township, Chief Bowen and his officers decided to see if residents would see the need and purchase the signs voluntarily. In the waning months of 2013, we sold 354 signs to our residents. Since 2013, our sales have been, in 2014, we sold another 231, 2015, another 107, 2016, 47, 2017, 31, 2018, 40. Year to date on 2019 is 31 signs. So to date, our records show that we have sold 841 address signs to our residents in Grand Rapids. There are 3,198 parcels that have home improvements on them. So we have 26% of those address signs on our parcels. Our pricing has remained the same throughout the program: $20 for a sign, $30 for a sign with a bracket or post, $5 if you need a firefighter to install it for you. Our cost on the sign itself is currently $13.50 plus shipping and handling. which varies by the quantity ordered. The cost on the post brackets and hardware varies also. We're offering this program not to make a profit, but to get our signs out there so emergency agencies can find these residences faster when seconds count. Or your pizza or Amazon guy as well. Respectfully submitted, Bob. Safety Department, we had one very minor injury reported this last month. So, any questions from the board?
Ready?
Yes, could you just talk about your wreath again? You know, I see that there's one.
Oh, yeah,
highlight. Can you just explain that again?
Yeah, the wreath on the side of the fire station, that's mostly green lights. That's our Wood County Fire Chiefs program. It's called Keep the Wreath Green. What it is every time there's a structure fire in Wood County, there'll be a red bulb put on it. So I believe by tomorrow there will be 3 bulbs on there. We had a fire Friday night. I believe up on the north end of the county, they had a garage fire, and I think there was one other call in the county. I'm not sure where. So, but I haven't, Scott Owen, the chief from Marshfield, handles that, and we change bulbs after I get the official emails from him.
So it's all of Wood County and not just Grand Rapids.
Yes, it's all Wood County.
Very good. Thank you.
So, all right.
William?
Whoop.
One other thing, on your statement, on the signs that says, it said, since they are not mandatory in our town, I kind of disagree with that. I think when there's a building permit, you're given an address. You mean you can refuse that address, and don't we give up little?
Yeah, the 3-inch tiles are given out with every permit.
So it is mandatory that you
I
have.
guess, yeah, I guess ours are
addresses.
reflective, I guess, so.
And on the building permit. And then, I'm kind of the one that asked for this permit, but this was a fundraiser regardless of you're making money or not. So why isn't there we
Well,
spent $15,000 and we
We
made so
basically
much.
make a couple bucks a sign, Bill. I mean, if you want totals, I can sit down and do it, but I'm gonna be sitting at my computer for about 6 hours going through 6 years of sales sheets to get you an exact dollar figure. Some of the brackets were donated, some of the brackets weren't. We've had 3 different sign suppliers since we started. So I could try to track some expenses, but it would be,
That's not what's important. I'm just saying, when anybody has a fundraiser, you have to document your money. And I'm surprised the auditors, or even your treasurer, don't have those figures,
Well,
because it's a fundraiser.
yeah, I guess I can come up with exactly what we've sold, but like I said, I don't know. To try to find every receipt on
Okay.
nuts and bolts and, okay,
Thank you for the report. Appreciate it.
okay,
Any other questions or comments? Thank you very much, Chief.
all right.
Treasurer Amy Cook, got some good words and some announcements probably, huh?
Yep. Good evening.
Good evening.
For the month of November, current month receipts were $290,499. Current month disbursements were $405,345. Cash on hand at the end of the month was $721,726, with $105,358 in checking, $366,884 in the repo account, and $321,866 in the money market. And you should be receiving your tax bills by the end of the week. So I will start collecting on Monday, the 16th. My hours I will be collecting are Monday through Thursday from 8 to 4:30, Friday from 8 to 12, and then closed for my lunch hour from 1 to 2. Any questions?
So, good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Item 6, consider possible action resolution 2019-22, looking at a certified survey map with road dedication split off of 24.38 acre parcel, creating lot 1, 1.25 acre parcel at 3310 48th Street South, and accepting road dedication as presented, lot number 070030.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2019-22.
Seconded by Bill, seconded by Andrew, did I catch?
Yep.
Sure.
Andrew? Any discussion?
I just wanted to comment, at last night's meeting, Plan Commission meeting, I had asked you know, why he had um, did it this way, and he plans on building a new home. So that's good news, another new home.
We were kind of expecting that. All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? No opposed? Motion carries. Item 7, possible action on resolution 2018-23. Rezoning comprehensive map change, that's what it is. From 1 to R2 residential, lot 1, newly created 1.25 acre parcel, 3310 48th Street South, 0700030 for lot number.
I can make the motion.
Motion by Patty,
Bill second.
seconded by Bill. Any discussion?
Second by
Dan.
Dan? That was Dan.
Okay. Thank you.
You can call it Bill.
I probably have. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed? No opposed. We are on 8, correct?
Yes.
Consider possible action on petition to remove street light at the corner of 40th Street and Colth Drive.
I'll make a motion to remove the light.
I'll second that.
A motion by Bill, seconded by Andrew. Any discussion?
I just want to say, if I may, that I learned really a good lesson on this one. It was presented as a safety issue, and speaking for myself, I just really thought it was a good idea for safety. And knowing, the ordinance needed to have the petition and follow it, that way. And so I just learned a very good lesson. Sorry for the hassle that decision had caused.
I just want to make a little bit of a correction though, Patty. The ordinance does allow for it not to have a petition if it is a safety request.
Yes, and so.
Which we've had two, we've had one from Safeway Bus for Coney Trunk, Griffith Avenue and Brookwood, and then we had one that was for a corner of a joint village in Grand Rapids. That was a safety request. So they don't always have petitions, they don't always have to have.
Right, but with that being said,
You disagree with me?
could we have,
Artie, she's speaking.
And I was answering.
could we have sent out notices?
We-
I mean.
we can do anything that you want.
Yeah, and I guess maybe that would be something that we can keep in the back of our minds to, think about that next time. Thank you.
All right, any other discussion? Dan?
So,
You're sorry.
I'm on the same path here. I was under the assumption that everybody in the neighborhood wanted it, when they were talking about it, and obviously that isn't true. The other thing I'd ask is that at our next maybe legislative, we possibly review this ordinance for some updates or see if we can't improve on that. And my third question was, and I don't know, is there any safety liability issues with taking that light down now? Is that something we need to talk to Nick about? Because once that's up, now if it comes down, this is a concern, and there is an issue there. Is the town liable? And I guess I would like to get that from our legal, to see if we are, if there is anything.
I think someone had asked Nick that question.
I'm
I don't remember if that was anything we had discussion on, but you can say that anybody can sue you anytime, so I guess
Right.
the town has liability all the time. Whether we'd have more liability, I really can't tell you.
Yeah, that concerns me a bit.
William?
Well, for one thing, if I had a concern about that, I'd probably vote no, but I don't have any concern about that. And the fact is that I would like to amend my motion to say that we take this item up at in our next executive committee,
Huh? We don't have
Legislative?
executive.
the legislative.
Legislative.
I'm confused. So you're not wanting to act on it, you're wanting to send it to
I
legislative?
amended my motion to take those down and say and to bring this up at the next.
Okay, now I understand your
legislative.
motion. Do you get it now? Okay.
In
We were
addition to.
We were just a little bit confused. Any other discussion?
Just one
Well,
comment
and I have
on
a
that.
second for that amendment.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is there a second to his amendment?
I'll second it.
Okay, discussion on the amendment? Yeah, whatever one you want, Andrew. Any discussion on the amendment?
Just on the, I'll make a discussion quick. The only thing is, I hadn't commented on this yet, but I was kind of under the same impression that when we initially voted for this, that it was something that everybody wanted and that it was presented as a safety issue, and that is clear that it's not the case of everybody in the neighborhood wanting that. Moving forward, we can work as a board to try to work on resolving this in a legislative committee meeting. For those of you that don't know kind of what that is, that's us creating, policy changes and things like that, or ordinance changes, amongst our ordinances of how we do business, and try to refine that as much as we can and learn from this moving forward. So I hope that we can do that, to try to do that, and we'll have to brainstorm ideas and figure out the best way to do that.
Any other discussion on the amendment? Hearing none, all in favor of the amendment to add, sending this to legislative to review the ordinance? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? No opposed, motion carries. Motion to remove it as presented, and with the amendment, all in favor say, any other discussion?
I guess we have to clarify costs. I mean, that's just gonna be the town, correct? I mean,
We put it up,
right,
we take it down.
okay. That was my final question.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed, motion carries. I don't know, first, I guess, the material, whether Nick agrees or not, I guess. Motion didn't. Item 9.
No.
Possible action resolution 2019-25, adopting the 2020 town budget. I've been doing these since 1995, holy moly.
I'll make the motion.
Motion by Dan, second by
I'll second it.
Andrew. Any discussion? Hear none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Have an aye opposed? Motion carries, budget passed, look at that. Here we go. Item 10, consider blast action on resolution 2019-26, approving the list of election inspectors to be effective January 1st, 2020, and for noting, I will be abstaining.
I make a motion to approve resolution 2019-26.
I'll second that.
Motion by Bill, seconded by Andrew. Any discussion?
Just curiosity, do these people come in requesting, or how did these names come to fruition?
Well, probably 95% of them were existing, and then like last year, I think I got 4 new ones that just stopped in.
Oh, okay, so there was an interest. Okay,
Yep, they
that's
had retired recently and looking for something.
But I don't think any political parties
No,
sent you
no.
with a list
No.
of
No,
anyone
these
that
are all
would.
just.
Okay.
Okay.
Can I just, but on even number years like next year, political parties have
They have
once
the
in
right
every
to.
2 years to submit, and we very seldom have had
Yeah,
that.
since I've been here, nobody has, since I've never gotten a request yet, so.
Okay,
Any
thank
other
you.
discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion is 4, I abstained. Consider possible action, resolution 2019-27, to obtain a loan not to exceed $600,000 for the fire truck, and that's an 8-year loan.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2019-27.
Second.
Motion by Dan, seconded by Andrew. Discussion?
Is this where we can ask questions in regards to the fire truck? I mean, we have the,
I'd be happy to come up. I've got a couple
excellent.
pages I can read to you about it.
It's not that my questions would change my vote, but I just am curious. I
No,
thought
I-
this would be a good time to talk about it.
We have that in our packet, don't we?
We do,
Picture
but
of the truck?
Yeah, we have it.
You had the stuff on the financing and the warranty
right,
and the price, so.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd be happy to tell you about it. Like I said, we got a lot of work and a lot of research, so. Our engine committee officially started meeting back in August and consists of 9 members. Unofficially, we were looking prior to that at some of the conferences like Mavis, State Fire Chiefs, and State Firefighters Convention. We've looked at many manufacturers, but as we got more serious, we concentrated our search down to 2 manufacturers. We toured the Pierce plant this fall, and we rough spec 2 different pumpers with them, ranging from a cost of $575,000 and $646,000 respectively. In October, Rosenbauer brought up an engine for the city of Waterford that the city, occasionally fire truck companies will let the companies for a little break in price, they can drive around with that new truck for a while and show it off. So anyways, he brought a truck from Waterford. It was like a $900,000 truck, but it was absolutely, the fit and finish on it was gorgeous. Anyways, our committee was really impressed, and Rosenbauer offered some things that Pierce didn't throw at us. So after many hours of comparison, we have chosen the Rosenbauer Commander chassis with the FX body and a rear mount pump. Rosenbauer, like Pierce, has apparatus all over the world. Although they don't manufacture in Wisconsin, they have plants in Nebraska, South Dakota, and Minnesota. The truck we picked would have the chassis built in Nebraska, and the rest of the truck would be built and finished at their plant in South Dakota. The price on this truck came in at $577,275 with incentives for prepayment, and you guys have all that information. One of our top priorities for when we're looking at trucks obviously was safety, but corrosion resistance was at the top of our list as well. This truck will have virtually no chrome or diamond plate, as we have ordered all handles and accessories to be sprayed with Line-X black protective coating. Some other quick, without getting, I have the whole binder there with specs that thick on the truck. Rosenbauer offers a fully galvanized frame and all undercarriage parts that are galvanized and or stainless steel dipped in plastic. We saw of no, I mean, there's what, 8 manufacturers in the state. There's Seagrave, there's Custom, there's Marion, there's S&R, there's Pierce, there's, anyways, from what we've seen, nobody offers corrosion resistance as aggressively as Rosenbauer does. Which in this climate, you know, especially with knowing that we have to keep a truck for 20 to 30 years, that was pretty paramount. Rosenbauer has the safest cab in the industry. All sheet metal is 3/16 thick and passes every NFPA crash test with flying colors. And that's, I can show you documentation to prove that nobody uses material that thick on their bodies and their cabs. They truly do build a pretty impressive cab. Rosenbauer offered a rear pump design that creates a better balanced vehicle, pushing the water tank further to the center of the truck. If you look at this print here, most fire engines will have your pump, like a Pierce Puck would have the pump under the back part of the cab. Our existing engine one has a mid-mount pump panel, which would put the pump back here. So then on a lot of your fire trucks that are out there, your water tank is basically in the back of the truck. And that creates a pretty unbalanced vehicle. By us going with a rear pump option for multiple reasons, that's shoving your water tank way to the center of the vehicle. This truck, when fully loaded, will have 58% of the weight on the rear tire and 42% of the weight on the front tires. That's a pretty balanced truck for a fire truck. As you can see, it's got a nice spacious cab. It's got, we added compartments under the rear seat for our cancer initiatives. And then, like I said, after we sign them, we will get a much more detailed drawing with graphics and many more of the features that are on there. Anyways, the engine, we just went with the base engine, which is the 450 horse Cummins with an Allison 3000 EVS transmission. Virtually, Allison is like the transmission king in that trucking business. I don't even think they offer anything but Allison transmissions. The truck will be equipped with backup and blind spot cameras with a screen in the officer's seat for safety as well. Those were some of the highlights. But any questions you have? I know the truck in the spec pretty thoroughly, and I have my binder with me. But yep.
So the mechanism that's mounted to the front bumper, that is for the hoses?
Yeah, what we did on this truck was we went with, we will have a couple of hose lays in the center of the truck. But a lot of what we call our speed lays on our truck, the hoses that we grab on an initial attack in a hurry, we're gonna have most of those speed lays are gonna be right in this front bumper. So, and then the pump operator panel on this truck, the pump operator is actually gonna stand in the back right corner on the curb side of the truck. And then that'll make, for drafting on this truck will be a piece of cake when we draft out of our dump tank, because your pull is gonna be so minimal from your tank to your pump. So, that this design eliminates us ever backing in a driveway again, which is a hazard in itself, and in the heat of the moment takes time. We'll pull in, the operator sits on the back side. Those blind spot cameras that are on the truck will serve as then the operator will have one little screen here where they'll look and they can see the back side of the truck. And like I said, the truck, there'll be this doesn't show it, those blind spot cameras, that's almost standard on almost every manufacturer now. So that when you, as soon as you hit a signal, your VMUX screen right by the dashboard is gonna be showing you your blind spot on that truck for safety. So, any other questions on the truck?
Yeah, I have quite a few. If you
Okay,
don't
shoot.
mind. I see that the truck is like 35 feet long. Is that in comparison to our current truck? You know, I mean, this might be a stupid question. Will it fit in our garage?
Yeah, yes, it is. It's about 1.4 feet longer than our current truck, but most of it is that front bumper.
Right.
If you look, obviously you can't see it from where you're sitting, but from the front of this, from the actual front of the truck to the front of this siren horn right here is 36 inches.
Yeah.
And the only reason they built that bumper was so big was another thing we saw in that Waterford truck was that they had their speed lays up in the front of the truck, and that just makes for such a clean, fast. And then while they're trying to pull a hose off the speed lays, they're not in the pump operator's way either when they're pulling the hose off. So there will be 2 speed lays in the center of the truck, and then there'll also be a hose on the top of the truck. This truck will hold far more hose than our current engine, but it will easily, it meets all NFPA specs, and it will hold everything that we're currently carrying on our engine 1 plus.
Okay, we'll let Patty finish up our questions, then we'll see if there's some others, if we don't mind.
Yeah, I just have one thing that I was really concerned with the newer vehicles, you know, is the emissions. And so one of the biggest things that I was concerned about was the DFP replacement of the filters, because the shelf life of that fluid alone is very short. And so our trucks seem to sit longer than run, as an example, like City of Milwaukee. So I know it takes approximately like 2.5 gallons per 800 gallons of fluid, or, you know, that ratio, and it could depend differently on the make of the engine. But I'm just really concerned, do
About
they
that
have
depth
like
fluid management?
Yeah, that they
Well,
have
we've
a
got-
maintenance program that you're very comfortable with that, you know?
Well, they'll give us quite a orientation on that whole DEF system, but I've got several of my guys. Scott Cook's been a mechanic for 25 years,
Okay.
and I've got guys that work for the city of Stevens Point, and I got several guys that are pretty up on that. Basically, you know, if we're not using a lot of DEF fluid, we won't keep that tank full.
Okay,
And then, like I said, they'll teach us how to manage that system, and I've got at least 3 guys over there, Scott Cook, Matt Wallach, and, anyways, that are very up on the new diesels and what it takes to maintain and keep that truck in.
that regeneration
That's
cycle
that's
is
one of the things that the rep
important, yeah.
already said, is that anytime we're sitting at a scene, if we go out like to a CO call or a gas leak and we're not pumping water, we have to hit that high idle switch right away to keep that exhaust hot.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, I just
So-
wanted to make sure that you were on top of that and you felt
Yeah,
comfortable with all that.
Yeah, and that, if you guys don't purchase any of the extended warranties, that DEF system, the engine, the transmission, the DEF system, everything is covered for the first 5 years. And then that information I gave you guys was on if you, the board, choose to buy any of those extended warranties.
And that DEF system will be included in the extended warranty part? That's why I guess my
Yes.
questions are going with this to talk about that.
Yeah, and even the sales rep had to do some digging, because this was a new question for him, and basically Cummins doesn't build that exhaust, but they have it built somewhere for the truck, but the exhaust isn't built by Rosenbauer, it's built by Cummins, and then whatever engine warranty you either the base 5 years, or if you choose the extension, that warranty will follow the exhaust system as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Anything else? Okay,
No, I think my most important questions were done, yep.
William?
I'm upset that this is on the agenda because I was misled, and I believe we misled the whole town. Because what we was gonna do out is extend the contract of our 2 other municipalities that have us, so we would be guaranteed, like the ambulance service was, we extended the contract there for them, so they could go out and buy an ambulance. And I was surprised to go to the town of Saratoga's meeting, not knowing that you people were going to be there, and I think it should have been noticed that you were going to be there, because you met as a committee, and you met before them, and at that meeting, you even said, well, we'll be meeting, our 2 towns will be meeting on this issue. And this is how to buy a fire truck. And you haven't even met with the town of Ramp, I believe now, have you?
No, we haven't.
Wednesday.
We were directed.
Tomorrow?
We discussed us going and meeting with them as a board specifically on that. I don't know if you guys recall, it was specifically discussed, and we were told by this board to go and present to them that we'd like to go and talk about extending our agreements. We didn't
There's
want
no
to change the
action was
agreement.
taken.
There was no action on the agreement. We gave a presentation.
I checked on that. It was wrong for you to do that. And now you're having a meeting tomorrow.
Well,
And I think that's wrong. But my point here is that we're misleading the town in this board, and that's why we're gonna make a decision tonight to buy that truck, whether we have an extended contract or not. So, that's my point.
okay. Anybody else? Otherwise, I have a couple things to add to this, if you would bear with me. Obviously, I approached the assessment for the extended warranty, knowing my background in the trucking industry dictated to me that I would like to see an extended warranty on it. I, in my own mind, would go for the 8-year warranty. That would add $3,510 to the cost of the vehicle. I would suggest, and I guess we'll get this, we have a motion that is not to exceed 600,000, is that what our motion is? I mean, we can tailor this however it is, but if we take some of the discounts, we can add the warranty on and actually take the cost of this down to maybe $560-some thousand. But I guess the thing would be to take what we think is the best vehicle at the best deductions. I don't know if I'm in favor of one payment for the entire thing prior to us, just after we sign a contract. But I would suggest that we consider the deduct when the chassis arrives at their plant, which would save us about $11,000. And
So we have a motion on the floor to not to exceed $600,000. I would like some time to review this more. And then could we come back maybe next month or whatever, or and discuss what options we're gonna take and pay?
I guess that's kind of, Dan, why this packet was in everybody's box, and I know not everybody picked up their stuff to read it.
Nope.
And I understand that, and the time is of the essence in order to get a truck built
That's
and
right.
have it delivered
Right.
by the end of the year.
But we got it to 600,000, so we can approve it and then make that decision. But
Yeah, the one caveat in this whole thing, like I said, I thought we had much more time than we do as well. But obviously with that chassis, or with that having to be on our floors sometime in 2020.
yes,
All the manufacturers, because the trucking business is thriving, and Leslie from Pierce told me the exact same thing that Doug Quam was saying, and even the other day, I got it out of Brian Hofferman from SNR in Marshfield. right now in the trucking business, you can't get engines, transmissions, and axles. Right now, the Rosenbauer's lead time is 12 months, and he said at least 4 to 5 months of that 12 months is trying to get an engine, a transmission, and 2 axles. So Pierce is telling customers 10 months. Rosenbauer's telling people 12 months. And so tentatively what we have is we technically have a build slot with Rosenbauer. If we back out on this deal, Rosenbauer will turn it into a demo truck that Jefferson Fire and Safety will drive around for a year. But if we accept the truck and purchase, then that build slot is ours. And that would guarantee that we would hope we would have it on our floor late November, early December of 2020.
Why don't we just go through our options and talk about it? Let's do it.
I think Bill's objecting by looking at his face, but
I just, the
would-
motion
let me-
before us is $600,000 and no more.
Yep.
Why don't we vote on that? If somebody wants to amend that somehow,
I was going to get to the same point you're going to, Bill. What I would suggest is we make a motion to approve it, not to exceed what it is here, and the interest rate. Do we know what the interest rate would be, Amy?
Yes, the lowest came in with River City's bank, and it's at 2.99 for 8 years.
And that's now Time Bank, is that what the name change? River City's changed to?
Oh, yeah. Is that the one that changed?
I think, well,
I'm not sure.
the former River City's bank now, I believe it's Time Federal
His
or
email's still
something.
River City, so I don't know if it's actually.
Okay.
Did somebody make a motion yet?
Oh, are you done?
Do you
Yeah.
want, I don't, well, you want more information?
I made
do
the
have-
motion.
We had a first and a second on the motion not to exceed 600.
Okay, then
We
we
got
did that. But I wanted to be sure we
Voted.
knew the interest rates, because that
Okay.
Okay.
should be part of the motion, to which one. Was there other ones that you
Well,
had?
I do have percentages from the other banks, not that I don't think it,
These
it's a
this is the
concern.
lowest you have
This is-
received?
It is the lowest that I
Then I
received.
guess that's all we need to know.
I do have just like the payments per, year of what it's gonna
Yes,
be at.
please.
Approximately, it's 85,437 would be a year, what you pay per year. And the total interest is at 83,502 approximately with that interest rate.
Okay.
Were the other rates close?
They came in above 3,
Okay.
so.
Okay, so when is your timeline?
Well,
Did I miss it? I just want to know that.
12 months.
Well, yeah, I
No,
mean,
when do you need to say go?
Let's take this motion here.
okay,
And then
all right.
we'll discuss
Okay,
what I'm
all right.
gonna offer up to you. Might
Okay.
make difference. So, motion made and approved to not to exceed $600,000 at a 2.99% interest rate. Is that okay to add that interest into?
For 8 years.
For 8-year loan. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Aye. Aye. Any opposed?
Yeah.
Opposed.
I
So,
thought we were gonna.
Now, if we want,
No.
if we need more time to do this, if we want to schedule another meeting for Thursday night, which is 2 more days out, well within our time, and we need to get an answer really quick.
Yeah.
we,
But otherwise, we can do this tonight. It's very easy to do.
yeah, we can, which is not a problem, but we had a motion and resolution to buy the truck. So why can't we tell them, go ahead and buy the truck and then talk about, but, I mean, I don't know what,
Well, the only thing you
That's
have
part
to
of the
specify
contract.
though is whether you want to do any of the discount or not, if you want.
Right.
oh,
Because he needs
yeah.
to know
Yeah.
whether
Oh, okay.
To
You
sign
need
the
to know the
contract.
discount.
And, yeah, probably the warranty maybe too.
I don't think the warranty is.
Warranty's not gonna
It
be
doesn't
an
have
issue.
to be,
It's the discount.
but I think just for his process, he should know.
yeah, I assume when I call the salesperson, I'm
He's gonna wanna know what.
Right,
And
and
you
what
can
option
change
did you
that.
go with it?
Is
Well-
delivery included?
What's that?
Delivery included?
I sure assume so.
We have-
I couldn't find it in here, and that's pretty important.
Let me look, I got the binder sitting at my, I'll start reading
I'm
during
sure
the
it
rest of the
is.
meeting.
Okay.
Yeah, he,
If, I would like that specified in there when you talk to them.
yeah, I'll start looking in the binder, I got a binder that thick, like I said, you don't have the full set of,
Okay.
but I will try to find that real quick, well.
I guess if,
I
you know, if
sit
we're
down.
comfortable with the loan, or we can think about if we're considering taking advantage of one of the $10,000 deducts that would save part of the interest for a year. I don't, from what I understand from Amy, whenever we take the loan up, no matter what, the first payment's going to be in the first of the year, so it really doesn't really indicate to us. I don't know if I'm comfortable paying for the whole fire truck at one time. I'd rather. So that's about the only options you have is which early payments, and if you want to tag on to the.
So, right, because if we change anything along the way while it's being built, there's considerable penalties to that.
Right.
So, that
Right.
was, it sounds to me that the fire department did a really thorough job investigating the wants and needs, the longevity, so I don't think that we have to be concerned about that there's changes.
One thing to add to that too, so I was reporting, I was at the fire department meeting this last week, and they talked about that, and that was an item on their agenda, and made a motion to approve. If there is additional stuff that does come up during the build, that would come out of their 2% dues.
Okay.
Up to 20,000.
Yeah, so for like little changes or little minor adjustments, but we'll lock it in at what we lock it in at for the build, and the contract price is what we're paying, and then they would make, if there's little things, we wouldn't be looking at increases for us.
Okay.
So actually, in reality, all we need to do is sign the contract here, and we'll work the reductions out. So,
Yeah,
Okay, so
I would be in favor of whatever the most significant deduction would be, save the most amount of money.
So when we borrow this money though, we're not, let's just for argumentative sake, say we're gonna put 50% down and then pay 50% upon completion. We would still borrow the complete amount at one time.
right,
So.
because the whole amount's got to be paid out by the end of the year
Exactly. So, okay.
on delivery.
So we can talk about that 100%.
Yeah,
As
having
long
that-
as we have a good contract,
Are we gonna be discussing that 100% at another meeting or?
Well, I think,
75?
Bob, don't you need to know that when you sign the contract? Doesn't it make you, when you sign the contract, that purchase, didn't it specify that?
No, really it
Oh, it
doesn't.
didn't? Okay.
Really it doesn't here. This is
Okay.
this is
Okay.
the contract we have right here, and it's just very simple. We just have to buy it, and then
Okay.
we can take the options, any options we want, whether it's extended warranty or the chassis payment up front.
Then we could wait and take the loan after January's meeting. We don't have to take the loan now, so if you guys
That's
wanna
when
talk
we
about it
should.
further in January, we could take the loan
we
right
should take the
after.
loan in January.
Right, but we could wait until after the January meeting if you wanna figure out then, do you want full payment down, what warranty all that, so we know exactly how much to take the loan for.
Yeah.
So,
All
if
right.
you wanna discuss that.
Because- Yeah, because the correct thing would make sure that we're not taking the loan out for more than what
Exactly.
we really
Well,
need.
So
Absolutely.
tonight's is just not exceeding 600,000, then you can
Yep.
To
think
get
about
it
it.
going.
January, we can put it on for the exact amount if you want.
Yep. And I
As
think
far as
that's what
payment
it is.
wise.
And then we can discuss the warranty and the payment
Right.
options.
So that will be at the January meeting?
To determine the
Yes.
warranty and what you wanna pay down, if you wanna pay it in full or.
Or the
partial.
50% or 75%.
Right.
or
But
100.
tonight, go ahead and approve
So
it if
we'll
that's
go
what you wanna do.
we'll go ahead and
so-
sign the contract tonight
Okay.
and get it going.
Okay, and then, yeah, I don't know if you need to talk about that variance or not, but we got that covered, so.
Yep.
Yep, so we're good.
Okay.
Okay.
Good luck. Keep us in the loop on the bill.
Yeah, we'll do. Like I said, it's there, once the truck gets to South Dakota, the plant's just outside of, what's that big city?
Sioux Falls?
Yeah, it's just outside of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, like, it's in one of the suburbs there or whatever, where the truck would be getting completed and built.
In the fall, if we need to take a road trip, there's good pheasant hunting out there.
Yeah.
I guess we should ask that
Not to
quickly.
exceed 600,000.
Do you need any deposit right away when we sign this contract and give it, I mean,
Doesn't
is
look
I
it-
believe not.
You're
I mean,
okay to wait till
technically, you
It
guys
says,
can pay
it
for the
says
whole
no.
thing when it's
Okay.
when
It
it's
says no
delivered.
in the beginning of it,
Okay.
here.
So
But
who
there's
actually
no-
signs the contract? The clerk?
Sure.
Chair
Chair usually.
versus clerk? Okay.
Yeah, we'll let him sign this one.
She can put it by.
So you don't have to pay for this until you get it delivered.
Right.
That's a
Yeah, they do put
possibility.
some incentives on it if you prepay along the way, but otherwise, yeah, technically, they wouldn't have to pay a dime for it till it's on the floor.
It's kind of looked at as they're financing the truck on their end versus us.
Yeah, they're
financing.
basically floor planning it, yeah, so.
All right,
I got a text into Doug Quam, I'm almost positive, it says delivery to be made, produce apparatus in timely manner. Delivery means the date the company's prepared to make physical possession of the vehicle available to the customer.
Yeah,
Available to the customer.
we'll talk
Yeah.
about it.
I am almost certain, but he never said anything about us having to go out there and pick it up.
We'll talk about it.
So he's at another board meeting and was seeing her somewhere tonight, so he said he'd keep his phone on and answer me if I had any questions, so.
We'll talk later.
all right, item 12, consider possible action resolution 2019-28, paying a loan not to exceed $200,000 for road construction in second half of reval payment to assessor.
I'll make a motion to approve a resolution.
Second.
Motion to add, second Andrew, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 13, consider possible action, Officer Tomey, attending EVOC instructor school from January 6th through the 10th, 2020, in Merrill, Wisconsin.
I'll make a motion to approve the training request.
Motion Bill,
I can
second Patty. Any discussion?
Is that out of their budget?
Training?
It'll be on the 2020's training.
2020.
Do they have anything in regards to, there's a few days where the training is their meal expenses or lodging being taken care of?
No,
for that?
Mel didn't have it as of Friday. He was hoping that it was gonna get completed this weekend, but Dave didn't give me anything, so I don't think he got it yet. But
Okay.
there wouldn't be any, no
Lodging.
lodging for
Right, no
certain.
lodging.
Might be some lunches, maybe, but
Okay.
that we don't know yet.
Maybe driving.
And he's gonna have to take an old car up there because he likes deer.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, that's not allowed to be
Next item is yours.
Don't say it.
Maybe I'll have to take the towel, huh?
Don't say
Yukon rather.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No opposed? Item 14, consider Fox Ash 2000 contract with South County Humane Society. You have that presented to you.
I'll make a motion to
Motion
approve.
Patty,
I'll second that.
second Andrew. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed?
I'm opposed.
Item, one opposed?
One opposed.
Oh, look at
Was
that.
around that.
One. Item 15, discuss Bomar appraisal update to the reval. I guess you've got the email, and Lisa, if you want to just basically hit the highlights. They're just about done with the side work for the entire project.
Yeah, they actually have only about 2 to 3 weeks of work left to do. He was hoping to get it done before winter here, or before the last couple weeks. But he has that much left, so now he won't be back until spring to complete that last 2 to 3 weeks. So I think something with, I don't know how they figured out at Bomar, because I don't know if he's an employee of Bomar that comes out, or if he contracts them with the cases,
I
but
don't know.
either way, he said he'll be back in spring to finish that 2 to 3 weeks out, so. And then she explained that that's just obviously the initial field work, and then there's lots and lots left that they have to do on their side then.
And the paperwork part, comparison.
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, I have a concern on that. This was put on at a request of many people asking the same question. And I have a copy of the contract, and it doesn't say anything about not doing inside the house or anything. This is a contract they do, no matter what they're doing, and they're guided by the assessor's manual as issued by the Department of, in Madison, with the assessing. And this was signed, first of all, it was signed on 12/12 of 18 by you, but it was signed by him on 11/26/18. So you indicated that you must have sat there and figured this out, that he's not to go in the house and that's why we're getting it cheaper. It don't say that in the contract. And it don't say what you said about the fact is that the state won't let them do that anymore. That's wrong information.
Well, the contract that he would have signed first in November, that's what he sends me in preparation for the December budget meeting where you all
Right, right.
approved this contract last December. So then you all approved it, it gets signed the next day after all the December meeting. So
Okay.
that's what the only reason you see John's signature is because he signs it before he sends it here.
And we decided at a meeting that we wanted a non-internal,
I do not remember that.
we did. Because it was, he said, he indicated to us that it was
That the cost would have been much, much higher.
extremely higher.
If it was done the other way.
We can find that for you, Bill. Any other discussion on it?
There was one person that I spoke to that they said that they encountered the appraiser. And she said that he was very nice and asked a lot of questions, so it was a good comment.
And did we ever, I know we had asked the question last time about possibly if they could leave a door hanger or
They're
something.
almost done.
Yeah, they were almost done when
Yeah.
we,
Yeah.
She said they
But
definitely
for the-
could for
the-
next-
For next year?
Well,
the
that's
next
what-
round.
There is no,
next spring.
there is no more rounds of them. They have just 3 more weeks of
Yeah, and
traveling
then they're
around.
done.
So
Oh,
those
then they're
3
done
weeks
with the
maybe.
inspection.
Yep.
Right.
But in the future, like down the line, if
Oh.
we want them
Yeah,
to,
if
they
you'd have
could.
read that, Dan.
I know.
3, well,
I
maybe
had a lot
for
of
the
information
last,
in
There's a
there.
lot of
maybe for the
reasons.
last 3 weeks,
Is
that they
that,
do,
I don't know if that would cause more, because the,
Yeah.
No,
How
somebody's
come
gonna
they
say,
did
Yeah.
and
somebody's gonna say, oh, I gotta,
Yeah.
they must not have done mine yet.
Yeah, I know, okay.
All right.
Let's
I'm
make a
flipping.
note of that though,
I'm
for
flipping.
the next, in 10 more years.
Yeah, when you're chairman,
Holy
Betty.
smokes, you guys are not halfway through yet.
Item 16, I think I'm on, right?
yes.
Possible action, $6,800 contract for Shank 2019. That's a general review, not
That is
in-depth.
the, correct,
We
just the
do the,
general.
we do the other one every other year.
Yes.
I'll make the
Did we
motion.
do that last year?
We did the in-depth one last year, we did option B, so then this year. you-
Thought we did the other one.
I thought,
No, I
We
think
did.
because
I thought we
Amy
did the
was
cheaper
new,
one.
usually when there's a new person, like when, I think you guys
New
chose
clerk.
to do the
Wasn't it
more.
2 years ago we did that? Because last year we said, no, we're not doing that because we just did the in-depth.
Well, but the one that they did in January was for the previous, that would have been for 2018.
Oh.
So, is that when you started?
Yeah, just.
That was your first full year.
Yeah.
It goes back a year.
Right, so like the one they do in January is this year.
I just remember when we discussed this last year, we said we're gonna go with the cheaper one because we just did the more expensive one. I'm almost
I do.
positive of
I'll
that.
have to, I can double check tomorrow.
Can you look at the ledger? I mean,
I significantly remember that.
see what we paid them?
let's see,
Look at your, it'll tell you.
it will tell us.
Guys were ready to pack it.
He was quicker.
Yeah.
Come on, I'm betting on you, come on.
Well,
I know, I study these things.
I know, I know.
I'm losing my mind, but I'm pretty sure.
Rather find out now than later.
Auditor, we paid 9,200 this year, so.
I'm wrong.
All right, we did pay the full one last year, all right, so we
What
were.
page?
Oh.
Sorry, I want to put my eyes on it.
Don't believe her?
Start with
No,
the
it's
assessor.
I just wanted
You
to.
remember that too, Patty? I don't know where I'm getting that from.
I know,
guess
I
maybe I'm
Probably maybe from budget
Might have
time.
been the year prior
Us
because.
talking this year about, okay,
Yeah,
last year we
maybe.
did the full one, this year we're
Yeah,
gonna do.
something.
We'd have to do it every year
Page
with an
9,
audit,
maybe.
an auditor if we had a clerk treasurer.
That's correct.
But where we have a clerk
Separate.
and a treasurer, we have to do it every other year.
So the motion would be for a $6,800 contract by somebody.
I'll make that motion.
And
Yeah.
second by
Patty?
Patty. Any discussion? Hearing none, all say aye. Aye. Is there anybody gonna vote for it?
Aye.
All right, pay attention. It'll be a test
I was
here.
still circling.
First you gotta read your notes, now you gotta pay attention?
Whoa.
I want to get you some more yet today.
Yeah.
Item 17, consider possible action on $42,477 contract for the airport for the 2020 budget.
Okay. I just have a question, but I guess there better be a motion first.
I'll make a motion to approve that
I'll second.
42,477 for the airport.
Dan and Bill, or Bill,
Dan.
Dan and Andrew. Second.
Please get
Questions?
me off your
Okay,
mind
so-
before you go to bed.
As an example, not everyone is up the same percentage of change.
Right, goes by equalized values are split into the dollar amount. The same 143,000 is the actual dollar amount from the preceding year. We didn't change the budget, but because equalized values, ours goes up because we got more new housing. The cities went down because they don't have as much, and we end up paying we pay 1% more.
Well, they should have gotten more because doesn't annexation come into play as being new to them?
I'm sure it
I
does.
mean,
Value probably though.
Exactly,
We-
so,
On annexation, we get those taxes for 5 years after the
oh,
annexation.
okay, so we won't see a percent change for a while.
No.
All right, because if we would be the same as Wisconsin Rapids, it would be a $933 savings.
Yeah,
Okay,
you're right.
Yeah?
all right.
All in favor, say aye.
I,
I'm an aye, any opposed? Motion carries. Consider possible action on 59th, well, that number is that the right number now?
58,316 is the. it came down a little bit.
58,316, contract with the Horton Group. Motion by,
okay, this is, oh, by Patty.
Oh, I'm sorry, 58,289.
Yeah, 289 is what
I don't know where I got 316.
$58,289, contract with the Horton Group in town. I'll make that motion.
motion by Patty.
Second.
Andrew, any
Give me that
discussion?
figure again?
58,289.
It's on your last sheet that was handed out, Bill.
Oh, that's right.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed? No opposed.
This is just for our liability.
And the work comp.
This is everything.
Work comp, auto.
The whole bit.
19, consider possible action on a $107,216.18 contract for United Emergency Medical Response for current 2020 contract, and that's no change from the preceding year.
Yes.
As usual.
I'll make a
No,
motion.
no, that's not even an increase. This is the same price as last year. This is the year we got locked in, so
Right.
no usual increase.
Motion by
I'll make that motion.
Andrew, second by Arnie.
Sure.
And we'll make the payments obviously in June and then,
Yes.
or in July.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye, any opposed? No opposed. Item 20, consider possible action on building contractors. Contract just went back and forth to Nick, getting some languages in there that needed to be in there about insurance covers and that, so it's pretty well cleaned up to the liking of our attorney.
I'll make a motion to approve it, building inspection services as presented.
Motion by Patty,
I'll second it.
second by Dan.
Okay.
Any discussion?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So she
Bill,
said
first.
as presented, but still is being looked at?
No, this was approved by Nick.
Oh,
So the changes were.
Yeah, the changes were suggested by Nick, and it was, he accepted them.
They're
okay,
fine.
all
They're
right,
fine.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, so one of my
I just read.
concerns about the contract, though, was that he added an additional $200 for
A
a
slab
slab. Now,
that wasn't in, so we're gonna have to add that into our
ordinance 39.
ordinance 39,
We have
yes.
it.
Okay, but this is my concern. I can't see why there would be an additional $200 cost to a new home builder for a slab. Because a slab still has footings, frost walls, he's looking at that. To me, I think inspecting a basement, and I'm not an inspector, but I have built 2 homes, would be just as difficult to review, and it should be in the cost of the inspection of the home. I don't see why a slab, I'm not saying just a slab, because there is things to a slab. You know, you have your frost walls and that. I don't see why he's adding an additional cost to a homeowner for $200 on it.
Did he have an explanation?
We did, I called earlier, over the weekend left messages to Peggy and to Lisa. And then Peggy did email him twice today, and I believe you had a phone call into him, and he didn't reply. So I'm not sure if we want to wait on this contract in regards to this $200, or
The
how
only
we want to handle it.
thing I can think of is when he has a base, I mean, it's all done per square footage, so for a basement, he's getting, so I don't know if it's to recoup some because he doesn't have, I'm not sure. I guess that's the only thing we could think of too, because with the basement, it's not that not that this is more work with the basement. he's
Well,
getting
more
more.
because the square footage of that
Right,
basement.
is, but
Yeah,
is,
a lot more to look at
is
in
the
that basement.
basement, you still have your plumbing in your basement, which is under plumbing. You have a slab with, the frost walls and everything else.
And you could,
It's
I
the
suppose,
wall structure, the
table
drain
this till
tile,
January, which
you know,
have
some of
all
those
that.
things.
You have all that. You have all that.
Well, let me put my 3 cents in.
Okay.
I believe that with a slab, he's not getting his square footage that you do for a basement.
Right,
And he's
right.
having to do all the same work for it.
That's where I was trying to get at.
You
He's
follow what
not
I'm
getting his
saying?
extra permit fee because for a basement.
Because
he
when
gets
you
more.
got, when the basement is there, he's getting that 14 cents or whatever it is per square foot for a basement, which includes the footings of the slab. Now, with the slab underneath a brought-in 2-section home, he got nothing, so that's why the $200 is there to cover.
Because he's not getting anything for any
Everyone's
square
right.
But
footage of that.
is the basement truly being counted as square footage of a home?
For a permit, I
For a
believe so.
permit, it is.
Covered that when we went through that, he said it was.
Yeah.
And I do know, I asked Peggy how many, and she said there was one last year, so there's not a huge number of these. I think she said there was one last year, I believe, or one this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just foresee it maybe increasing only because of the fact the population is aging, they're not gonna want basements, they're gonna want more wheelchair accessible type homes.
Well, and the good thing is he can't change any fees. The way Nick revised this now, no fees can be changed unless a new contract is presented. So whatever when you do approve, or if you do, he can't change any fees unless he would present a new contract again to you. So he can't just mid-year decide.
Didn't know.
And then
Should have been that
here's,
at the beginning.
Yes.
and then here's my other question. We had on there where he would attend the meetings and appropriate board committees and commissions upon request. That was put in just for him to do his presentation for the annual meetings. And so, of course, he hasn't had to do that yet because he hasn't had an annual meeting to attend to. However, this would be the first year coming up. Now that we are removing that, he wouldn't need to come to that, but that was what our discussion was about when we first wrote up the contract.
We didn't remove that. We're
Oh,
we're
it looks
talking
like
about,
it looks like to me like it's.
oh, no,
lined out.
Nick just
Changed to G.
relabeled, yeah, just F to
Oh,
G.
okay, I'm
That's F
following.
and that's G now. They just,
But,
All right.
just because you're
Okay.
on that note, just so you're aware,
Yeah.
the newest one, these you guys have, I got one more, I think I got one more after the packets came out, this is what you have on. Okay, so, did I give you the new one tonight? Well, anyways,
Yes, you did.
okay, if you look at the new one I had on here tonight, the one thing he added after Nick's revisions was just on G, he added at the rate listed in 4F, so he does want to be paid the $57.50 an hour if he attends a meeting.
Which,
Oh.
So he added that little bit, so.
All right.
oh,
I
I don't have
guess
that
I
one.
don't have a copy. Was it in our in basket? I didn't go. to
No, it's right here
in
on
your
the
pile.
table.
Yeah, that was, should've been on the pile.
I took yours.
You didn't either?
No.
Oh, well, okay.
Bill has
Maybe.
mine.
Well, how'd Bill get it?
Bill took
Oh, I
all
have
of them.
18, 20, it was stapled, wasn't it? Is
Yeah.
yours stapled?
20.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Hold
This
on.
is mine from
No,
home
I
because
don't.
it's got my notes on it.
Okay.
I don't-
Dan took mine home.
Yeah.
Well, either way,
Well,
that's
maybe
the
I
I mean,
new
if you want to table it to next month, there's no
Yeah.
problem tabling it, but I guess it's really pretty
No, but I
pretty
mean,
simple.
if everyone remembers that,
Yeah.
that aspect about a basement, I can,
I'm positive about that because I calculated a bunch of costs that the basements
Oh,
are
yeah.
under the 14 cents.
I
or whatever
remember
it is.
we did that, yeah.
because the whole, new
It-
home permits are $1,000.
Yeah, and they're doubling. I mean, you get a 3-family house and now you have a full basement.
I don't like that.
That is actually doubling that based on the square footage, because you got the basement.
That's what
I
they
don't
do all
recall
over.
that, you know, when we first did that. Okay.
All right, is there a motion to approve it or not approve it, one or the other?
I made a I'll make a
I
motion.
made the motion already.
Oh, you
You
did?
did, and I
Do
second.
we have a motion?
second?
Are we on 20? Yes, we do.
You
A
have
motion
to
and a
vote.
second.
Okay,
As
all-
presented.
All in favor, say aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
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 Right?
Aye, any
I'm
opposed?
opposed.
Oh, okay, wait, did we have just one opposed?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we should discuss it more. I don't.
We can actually do it anytime when our contract, and present them with a new one if we don't like it. All right,
Considerable.
consideration. It's probably considerable, the dollar amount. Consideration possible action on work comp dividend check for the 2018-19 year. This was presented to personnel, and you came up with this, is that correct? Am I on the right?
21.
What's this one?
This is what I
Yeah,
emailed
well, I'm
personnel
at-
committee.
oh, there it is.
About on 11/15, I think, to have something for December's meeting if you want a recommendation. That was in your packet too, Tim.
So the amount,
Twist the knife.
Well, that's, what we're,
Yeah, the amount is,
The amount of-
$5,402.
Yeah.
so this was, a month ago, it was sent out to personnel, so you guys could, because last year this came up where you wanted time to review, so you can make a recommendation, so do you,
Right now, we don't have a recommendation.
all right.
We
so-
will have it in January.
Okay, we're gonna table that one, other
Yep.
than we're gonna accept the check, right?
Yep.
that's
And we'll
cash a
meet,
long time
and we'll
ago.
meet on it then.
Okay.
Table it till the next meeting.
Yep.
Yep.
We need a motion.
And then,
yeah.
You want the motion?
I'll make a motion that we table.
motion Dan, second,
I'll second.
Andrew.
Aye.
It's item 21, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 22, possible action carrying over vacation 2020 to allowed by the employee handbook. I believe it is Mel's looking to carry over, correct?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the request on a non-precedent setting basis.
For 80 hours, is that what you're saying?
Yes.
And to be
And I would
used by a
just-
certain time,
Yeah, by March.
by March
For the-
15th.
Yeah, yes, as stated in the request. You know, the last time we did this, we got into a lot of trouble. I'm not gonna discuss how, but I know we did.
Motion by Bill, seconded
I'll second it.
by Patty. And Mel had scheduled a vacation off, and he's having to cancel it because of his mother's in-laws. And he's gonna try to use up as much as he can, so he's,
Okay, so the motion, just to repeat it, is
To approve
to
the 80.
approve
Up
the
to 80 hours.
carryover, not to set a precedence,
Mhm.
to be utilized by March 15th.
Yes.
And I added that, so no one saying, well, you give it to Mel.
okay.
This is not a non-precedent setting basis.
And we had a motion second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Have an aye. Anybody opposed? No opposed. Item 23, set the wages for part-time employees. The CPI was 2.07, the rate was $16 an hour, which if we follow with that and wish to increase, it would be $16.33. What's your wishes?
I'll make a motion to increase the part-time employee wage to $16.33 per hour.
Motion by Andrew,
I can second.
second by Patty. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Anybody opposed?
No.
One
Oh,
opposed.
That's 3 opposed?
I thought I heard one opposed.
Oh, I opposed, he opposed.
I didn't hear
thought I
you.
heard-
Sorry, I didn't hear you, Bill. I thought you were for. So there's how many opposed?
2.
Two.
2 opposed.
3-2. Thank you. I didn't hear you. Set wages for election workers 2020, and again, I will abstain on this item.
I'll make a motion that we approve, that we set the election work wages to $10 an hour.
Motion by Dan, second by
Patty?
Patty. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? One abstention with me. Motion carries. Consideration and possible action on enforcement of Fairway Circle property.
No,
Oh, did I
Number
jump
25.
on?
25, yeah.
All right. Set per diems for the following members. Thanks for your help. 2020. Plan Commission, Police and Fire Commission, Board of Appeals, Recycling, Solid Waste, Water Committee, Economic Development Committees.
I'll make a motion that we approve the per diem as listed here. Committee chairman would be $55, and committee members would be $50.
Motion by Dan. Is there a second? Hearing none, motion dies. Is there another motion?
I make a motion, we raise it to the same as supervisors get, which is,
How much is it?
what is it, $60 or $50? $60.
60. 60 for the chair, and then what for the,
Well, I didn't say that because I don't think the chair should get any more money. Chairs of committees on the town board don't get more money for being a chair.
the chair of
Of the
town board?
committee.
Oh, of the, okay.
So you're,
This is for the chairs of those committees. I don't think they should get more money. We don't get more
so
money
what's
for
your
being a
motion then?
chairman.
Is it for the
And that
chair
is-
and the member to both get $60?
$60.
That's his motion.
You got it?
And I don't know if
I
I
don't have
can
it.
even vote because I'm on a committee.
You can vote.
Can I vote?
Yes, you can.
I don't,
Was there a second? I didn't-
I can second it for discussion more.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
I'm opposed.
All right, now we're on 26, correct? Consider and possible action on enforcement of Fairway Circle property, it's parcel 0702946 for development of a detached accessory structure prior to dwelling and associated permit requirements. In other words, if you read the letter, there's quite a bit of background here. This gentleman, Peggy had been in conversation with him, from what I gather, back in
2 times.
2 times. And they built a structure without permit, without a driveway permit.
I make a motion that we get the building administrator, zoning administrator here, and have them tear that building down. Have it removed from the property.
We can do that. We have the rights to do that.
I'll second
The
that,
motion by Bill,
to have it removed.
second by Patty, to send a letter with enforcement to tell them to remove the the building incorrectly placed. Any other discussion?
And one of the reasons is we did this right here on 48th Street to a person, told him he had to move his car shed that he built in the wrong place. He had to remove it, he got a variance to keep it still on the property, but still move it over. And I went and I visited this. This is right where our county clerk used to live, down in that, right off of 28th Street. And it's a little shed. I talked to the neighbors, the only neighbors that are down there. And they leave town, which is bad news too, but that's down there. And I don't think they should have built it.
Motion made and seconded.
I think we should work with him. I did have a discussion with him and on this, and you're absolutely right. He did build this structure. He does have. They are going to be building a house. They have I believe, a signed contract by a builder to build it starting this summer. No later than September, from my understanding. Yeah, you're right. I think he did not go about this the
Please.
proper way. But I would like to see us work with him.
Bill?
May I say, you're setting a precedence by doing that. I know a lot of people around here, because they have cars sitting outside, would love to build a shed just to cover those up. And they have to get a permit to do it, and it's denied, because you can't put it on another lot. A lot of people get these huts that you just go around, and you have to pay for those and get a permit. This person was told they had to get a permit, and if they got a permit for that, they gotta build within 2 years. I say if we let that on there, we have to have a permit from them that they have to build a house on there within 2 years or tear down everything. And I'm not voting, I'm voting for the motion to tear it down right now.
Any other discussion? I guess the sad part about this is that he knew everything, they knew the rules.
Right.
Unfortunately, as much as I like to work with people too, I just can't think that we can let him bully us. He may take this to circuit court if he doesn't like our decision, and they'll decide it there.
Right. There's also a driveway permit that he didn't
Yeah.
get to. And there were 2 discussions prior to, our lead man finding that shed, so he blatantly went against our ordinances, even though it was clearly explained to them, so.
Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion to direct him to remove it? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I'm an aye. Any opposed?
I'm opposed.
One opposed. Motion carries. Item 27, November disbursement vouchers, questions?
Do I get to take them home and look at them this time?
I have, just say.
Betty's gonna have one question, please, we got one.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have one.
you gotta have one.
On page 5, we have the solar stop sign. Did one of ours end up going bad?
We only have one, and that's there, yeah.
Okay,
Sign or
I
just
didn't know if we had an
batteries?
addition.
It's batteries, I think, isn't
Okay.
it?
I believe that's
Bling
just-
Enterprises, so I didn't
Oh,
know.
so Lang would probably be a sign then. Usually
Yeah.
it's just batteries, but maybe they did have to, I don't know if there's an accident or
Okay,
something.
I just didn't know if it was an addition or a
Stop right
repair.
down.
No, we didn't put any.
If there's an
There
accident.
was one,
Oh,
there
then
was
that's
one,
probably what
I
it
heard.
was then.
And then,
There was one down.
on the Mid-State Technical College, there was an EMT refresher course. I don't recall who went to the EMT refresher, was that you, Bob?
I put Gans Chardonnay at EMT and Gomez at advanced EMT.
Okay. And then, the Ford Explorer, on page 5, it came in at 33,665 and some odd cents. Is that the one where we made the motion for $50,000 budget?
Well, this
no?
is just the vehicle itself, so he still has to get it outfitted and everything. The motion was for 50, well, the total was 60,500. That includes
Right.
the rifles, but then all the outfitting. So this is just paying Kaiser for the vehicle.
Okay.
No outfitting.
Lights,
nothing.
radio.
Yep, and then that part's gonna come.
Yeah, and we've gotten the bills for most of it. It's all coming in under budget, so right where he quoted it.
Okay, and then on page 8, the camel hats, what kind of advertising did we do with that?
Who is this page to?
On page 8, it just says camo hats to Sully Sports.
Oh, to Sully's. Camel
We spent
hats.
$220.
Yeah.
I think that was for the crew.
Was that for Blackbird?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you know anything about that? Camel hats? I can check with Rick. I don't know what
Yeah.
that is offhand, but.
Okay. And the last question is, we had a psych eval
Mhm.
for a particular person. Was-
Part-timer, probably.
Yeah.
Just a routine.
Right.
Just a routine.
Yeah, just, I should clarify that too.
New hire.
Yes.
So, is the process for this, is the police and fire commission meet, and then they hire the people?
Well, nobody is hired until after they go through all. So the police and fire commission met, they selected who, then the chief starts the process of the drug test, the psych test. If all that comes back okay, then he's officially hired
Okay.
after all that's done.
And I just don't remember when the last time they met. Do you recall?
Oh, September 20,
Yeah.
September
Okay,
17th.
so that was done in September. Okay, thank you. That was, I couldn't recall when they had met, so. Thank you, and that's all my questions.
Okay.
You got a commercial break coming up here?
Nope, you don't. We're gonna be done by 8 o'clock. Item 28, operator licenses.
Did you
Brenda
get these?
Mackey,
Did you get the sign?
Hoozle,
Yes.
Brianna Nyman, Hoozles, Tracy Robinson, The Store, Megan Webster, Hoozles, one-year licenses.
I'll make a motion
A
that we-
denial to a Jill Permits, Hoozles.
I'll make a motion that we approve the one-year permit and deny the...
Motion by Dan.
Second.
By Andrew. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Have an aye, any opposed? No, motion carries. Monthly reports from committees. Did Rick give us anything yet?
Nope, I checked yesterday, nothing yet.
Okay.
Just to continue on with Rick's report, there was a report that I had asked for the
Drainage?
committee on the drainage.
We're working on it. We'll have that positively for you by the
For the
next
board.
meeting, for the board for the next meeting.
Thank you.
We've got a map, Bill, just to update you, we got a map and we're marking everything down on it, so it'll be,
So what was that, the pipe, what?
where any of surface runoff systems are put in. It used to be called French drains, things.
Oh, yes, yes,
No,
okay.
They call them
Now I-
surface runoff
okay,
now.
Okay,
That's the term used,
okay,
And what it cost us to dredge that one.
yeah.
okay.
Dredge.
Political.
Okay. Airport Commission has not met, although we had a couple of big, I don't know what they call them, Huey helicopters, the big twin rotors, in a couple of weeks ago. Each took about 1,000 gallons of jet, so we were pretty happy to see them. Came from the Iowa Army National Guard. They were up for training and needed fuel.
We do have a meeting though tomorrow at 8 o'clock.
Tomorrow, 8 AM, you bet we do.
Yeah. And I see there's an item on there about the annexation. or-
That's- Yeah, Mayor approved the agenda, I don't know what he's got to say about it. Okay, we then, recycling solid waste, you got anything? Bill?
No, I don't.
Plan Commission, you had just a little bit of a meeting yesterday, huh?
Excuse me, yes.
Patty, I should say.
The gentleman that was here this evening, Lucas was a Spikinger, we met with him, and then also we had a presentation from Wood County on the comprehensive plan, and they said that they would like to also give our, a short presentation at our next town board meeting, because we will have our survey completed, that we could actually have that on next month's agenda for the town board to approve, and if they want to, if you folks want to edit it or add to it. How's that sound?
Okay, sounds good. Anything else? Sounds good.
Okay.
Public buildings, anything?
Yeah, we got the salt shed roof was completed on Sunday, and looks good.
Was that the sand shed?
Sand shed?
Sand is one we own, the salt
Yeah.
is owned by the county.
We put it on.
Yeah, which one did you
Oh,
do? Make you Wood County, so.
Yeah, sand, salt, oh, strong one, we'll just have to pick it up and put it on there. No.
Whole building.
So they did get it complete
All
and
right.
cleaned up and looking good.
Okay, anything else?
Not at this time.
Legislative, what I'd like to consider, I think this issue that we discussed earlier, I think there needs to be something in, that we need to review whether there's some other action that we can take, such as a offense of some kind that deserves, if nothing would happen, this guy would have to pay double the fee. I think that is blatantly, it's way too low. We need anybody that does these things and don't take permits out, it's gotta be more of a offense, an ordinance violation. I think we need to discuss that as a board so that we discourage anybody from doing things without getting permits.
May I just say that that is in the zoning, but it's up to the building.
Yeah, but I don't know, do we have a limit set, Bill?
Well, it's
That's-
double the fee. is
Right,
what it
and
says.
I don't believe that's enough.
Yeah.
So that's what I would like to consider.
And streetlights.
Yeah, well, that's already
Thinking
been.
of that.
Oh, that sounds good.
Okay, and public safety
They've not met.
and economic development.
I have one question though.
Yep, go ahead.
Any word on when the garage is gonna be opening, that you have room over there? I know I'm keep asking you every time I see you.
Yeah, and it's the same type of thing. Last time I talked to Mel, it sounded like they were gonna be able to release some of these sooner than later, so.
Okay.
Just due to the kind of where things are going, so I can touch base with them again.
Okay, because otherwise,
Well,
like
yeah.
the February, election, we
Well-
will have one.
I'm more worried about this, just the hassle with the snow and stuff like that, so
Yeah.
okay. They've requested it, and, he's requested it, and we're working on it.
Okay, good,
I
thank you.
think they're getting close to being released to the
Okay.
insurance companies, I believe.
Yep.
Last I heard, but.
Yep.
yeah.
Let's
State
just knock
State
it.
Patrol was here several
I
days,
saw
several
that
days
they were
ago.
here, yeah.
That was me knocking on wood to make sure you don't have any more of these.
Yeah.
Economic development, anything, Andrew?
No.
Personnel, anything?
No.
WTA meeting, Bill, you want to tell us?
Yes,
what it
I
looked
was-
like?
yes,
How
I-
was the facility?
Terrible. How'd you know that? I mean,
Because I drove up there and decided not to go in because it was so poorly taken care of. I
they
came home.
The village of Millador has a village hall, and their post office was, they couldn't, they closed it because of the stuff on the walls and things like that. So they built the post office right ahead, right where we used to meet. And you had to go in the back door, and they're lucky they didn't get a lawsuit for that. It was terrible. Anyways, Lonely Oaks Farms was there. Joel, he used to be the ag teacher for Lincoln High School. He was there on his vegetable eggs and that. And the reason why they did that is because the clerk of the town of Millador is the one that is in a book club, and she read his book, so that's why he was invited. Senator Teston was
Okay,
there,
well.
Ben. Yeah, it was interesting in a way.
Yeah, I imagine it was.
Pat Teston and Vandermeer was there, and Representative Vandermeer, and state office people were there from the Towns Association, and Becker was there. And one of the things we learned from the association, the Towns Association, is the fact that counties and towns, and we did it right, cannot lower the speed limit on a road just to acquire for ATVs. They have to have approval from the state. If you remember, we lowered this speed limit on this road out here.
Yep.
And, you know, we went through all those procedures. Now the county and a lot of towns are just taking a 45 mile an hour and lower it so ATVs can travel on it, and that's what we're, and then there's horse and buggy legislation that they want to promote now. And shoreline zoning was a big thing with that. The next meeting's going to be held in,
Is it Saratoga's turn?
I believe it is, I don't remember. Do you remember? No, I don't even think they have.
I think it's Saratoga's turn, but I'm not sure either.
But also at that, if you know, I sent you a note on what the association said about their 75th anniversary. And I don't know what the town thinks of that, and,
Well, I think it's moving forward, and I think we should be involved in it.
yeah, and that means that we're going to, back here, our historical locker, what do you call it, our
Archive.
archives. There's a lot of information in there that probably somebody's gonna have to get out. And I guess the Towns Association book that we get every month, and that person that edits that is going to help out in this, so.
And you were appointed chair for this
Yes,
committee?
I'm gonna meet with them first and
Okay.
see all what it entails.
All right.
Sounds good. Report from individual board members.
Did
Anything
you
else,
do
Bill?
Public Works? Did you do?
Yeah, they don't have a report.
Oh,
But I
I'm
can,
sorry, I had some questions. I didn't.
I can tell you that one, and I should have told you when went up there, one of the trucks, the power steering box blew up. Blew a hole right through it. So they had to tow it up to I-States.
He was picking it up this afternoon already.
It's already in service, ball's already hung on it, it's done, it's back in service.
Sweet. But I had a couple questions, and I don't know if you're able to answer them.
I
but-
tried.
Okay, so as we're south of Kellner Road, right here on one of the Cook's empty fields,
Mhm.
there's a bunch of black pipe.
Yeah,
What's this?
that's
from that?
new power poles that are going up.
Oh, that's power poles that they're staging.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I can tell you in my update that about the ATA, is it ATA? Is that the name of the American Transmission Lines?
Didn't they
ATA?
send out a notice on that?
We all had
got a
letters on
notice
it, and they're starting the process. They're doing site works, the facilities that the city has is gonna have to be expanded in size. And they had to do some ground penetration testing the other day. They called me up and they said, town's got a parcel over there on 28th, between 28th and 32nd, that looks like a big field, could we test it in there? I says, you don't wanna? I said, it's a dump. He said, oh my.
Oh, yeah.
So, he said, he looked over and then he saw another parcel that had the Lions Club, and I said, yeah, we can get you in there to do your testings.
Okay.
So they had to run some tests for 2 days.
All right, and then, at our plan commission, we, someone had, or I had asked, about the pipes on Washington Street. Were those water lines that were installed?
Didn't install any, the gas line, that was a
Just
gas line.
Gas line.
Yeah.
Okay, so.
That's a high-pressure gas line they put in.
Okay, were you or Dan, I can't remember, talking about asking if permits were?
Yeah,
No.
we did.
Okay, so we did,
Mhm.
issue permits for
Well-
them to do that.
Under the right-of-way permits.
Well, Peggy
Yeah.
came to me today and looked, and she didn't find what she was looking for, so I'm not really sure.
She didn't find any for on Washington Street, is
Right.
what she was asking
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to
Yeah,
look
I
at
don't
that.
know.
I thought we had checked and I thought we had permits for it.
Okay.
Is that what you might have checked for before? 'Cause
I thought we
know
did.
you've checked recently too.
Yeah.
Is that what, that might be what you were looking for, maybe she didn't know what
I'm
Okay.
thinking we had
the
them.
location was.
All right, I just wanted to ask to make sure that
That's high-pressure gas.
we
Going
know
to-
it's in the
going to
road
you
right
know where.
away. Because the Wisconsin Towns Association just had an article about
Mhm.
making sure that you know what's in your road right away
Mhm.
and making sure that your fees are being paid.
The fire department needs to know those things.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right, anything else there from Bill? No, okay.
Okay, no, I will. Was you already down to her?
No, I'm
No,
just
well,
trying
yeah,
to
Just more questions.
We got off task here, so we had to start over.
Oh, one other thing was on 48th Street and Highway 54, on one of those four corners, the church went in.
Yeah, Peggy told me that this morning and has determined that it might not be able to be there. It's not zoned.
It's not so, and I go to where Sully's place is now. When that changed hands, we made those people get a permit. Although the conditional use goes with the property. And on the snowfall that was mentioned earlier, I know you got a lot of calls because I referred the calls to you.
I got 5.
And I was in the office here and Peggy said the phones were really humming on this issue, so. That's all I have.
Okay? Dan?
Nothing, just on a personal note, I guess, I'd like to thank the town board for this last month. It's been pretty
Little
tough. So
I
all the
understand.
support and cards and letters was much appreciated.
Patty?
I guess I had quite a few questions that they were all answered this evening, so thank you for your patience and
That's right.
follow up on all that. And I guess this is our last meeting this year, so I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year,
And a happy birthday to me, please. too.
and a Happy Birthday to you, Arnie.
All right, Amy, you got anything over there?
No?
Quiet. Andrew?
The only thing was just, I was just discussing, and I brought it up a little earlier too, but is we had met with Saratoga, we presented to Saratoga at their meeting, as requested by the board, just an update. There was a good indication of things that they would want to continue the contracts, so we could meet with them in the future, we can set that up, and we can, as a town board, then meet with them and discuss the length and term and stuff like that, but we advised them of the fire truck and things like that, what we're doing, and just kind of gave them kind of an update on what we're doing, and just wanted to report that back. We are going to be just presenting to, I'll be presenting to Grant and the chief and.
On Wednesday?
Yep, tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yep.
Tomorrow, yep.
Yep.
Are you gonna take a picture of the trickle?
I sure can.
I think it'd help.
Yeah, one more thing too.
Go ahead, Dan.
Hey, just want to remind everybody who does have a live Christmas tree out there, please water it, check the water on a daily basis. Make sure that if the needles do get real dry, that you get rid of it. We don't need any additional calls this holiday season. But check your trees. You can even water your artificial one if you want.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so I indicated to you about the steering box. Next week I'll be out of town for 2 days. I'll be involved in the Rural Economic Development Ready Grant that Wood County was received. I've been asked to be one of the participants in the steering committee that's going to work towards developing a plan for Helpdale, a plan for Wood County. So I will be involved in that for a couple days.
How much is the Ready Grant for? Does it?
Initially, the grant was speak to amount of possibly 50,000, but that's just for the development of the plan. Their intention is, as I understand, and we haven't had our first meeting yet, so I can't give you all the details. I'll share them as we get them, but there is the strong possibility of additional federal funds once we make the design plans. That's from the Rural Economic Development Fund.
Nice.
All right, let's see, we got through all the board members. I'm the last one, huh? Okay. 31, public input. Anybody wishing to address the board, limited to 2 minutes each. Public limitation to be no more than 16 minutes. Anybody else? No comments tonight? All right,
Oh, you know, I can maybe make a comment.
Go ahead.
Yes. One more time, sorry about that.
Could you state your name for the record?
My name is Patty Lumbee. No, I just wanted to say that there's going to be a survey coming out, and that's what our public participation survey is all about, for the comprehensive plan. So when you get this in the mail, it's so important for you to fill it out. Take the time, fill it out, really think it out, because it is going to help us make economic decisions. It'll help us steer the town in the next 10 years of what direction we want to go into. So please take the time and fill out that survey and get that back to the return address envelope that's going to be in there. So thank you.
Okay. Item 32, Grand Rapids Town Board move into closed session pursuant to statutes 19.8Y, Print 1, Print C, consider appointment motion, compensation, performance evaluation data of any public employee over which the governing body has jurisdiction or exercise responsibility for the purpose of considering town employees' compensation and benefits. Who makes that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Patty, second by
Bill.
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 Roll call vote. Bill?
Aye.
Dan?
Aye.
Patty?
Aye.
Andy?
Aye.
Arnie? Aye. We are in closed session. Thank you very much.